So good morning, my name is Jon Mochel. I am the CEO of a small business called 3D Health Solution. And so the overall idea of our company is to try to tackle the issue of drug treatment failure in clinical programs by the use of non-predictive animal models. And perhaps the best illustration of drug failure today is Alzheimer's disease, something that affects about 5 million people in the US alone and costs about $200 billion. Over the last 20 years, we had more than hundreds of clinical trials being run and only 3 drugs being approved 2 years ago, and none of them are really working. But more globally, the attrition rate in drug development is about 95%. It costs about $2.7 billion to develop just one drug for 15 years of development. But again, in 95% of those cases, these $2.7 billion and 15 years of investment are just for nothing. Now, if we're trying to narrow it down to termination of programs because of wrongful prediction of drug absorption, these represents a net loss of $1.7 billion per company and per year. So all innovation stems from previous descriptions in human medicine that have established what we call 3D mini organs as the breakthrough of the year to basically improve prediction of drug activity early in the drug research and development pipeline. So our technology is actually focusing on canine mini organs. Why dogs? Because dogs is still a required preclinical species for drug preclinical characterization by the FDA. And so what we are doing is using stem cells from dogs which have the exact same disease as human instead of healthy animals, because we do all that we are treating patients and not healthy patients in practice. So simply put, our goal is to replace current non-predictive in vitro system by 3D canine mini-gut to improve significantly the ability to predict early on the exposure, activity and safety of various therapeutic candidates. By doing this, we also expect to reduce significantly development timelines, reduce expenditures, and also reduce the use of live animal species in preclinical research, because we are using dogs from the hospital and not healthy dog animals. A few words about the team. So I worked for about 10 years in top-tiered pharma industry. I have worked in both the preclinical and clinical divisions of Novartis and Roche. With my co-founder, Karen, we combine about 40 years of experience in canine research, and we are well connected to animal health and vaccine technologies here in Iowa, thanks to our board of advisors, composed of Steve Carter, our CEO, and Joel Harris, and Mike Roof, who is the current CTO for Iowa State. The total available market for preclinical research is estimated at $4 billion in the US alone. So if we now focus more on intestinal permeability per se, this represents about 340 million serviceable attainable market. Our goal is to characterize and to capture 10% of this, so about $34 million in about 5 years. The need for the technology has been validated extensively, first by more than 80 customer interviews through an NSF ICOPS programs, but also through external evaluations by various companies. More importantly, we have just secured 2 contracts from actual customers, Boehringer Ingelheim, which is, in my opinion, the best proof of validation. To basically start to capture the market, we are going to adopt a stepwise approach. First, by entering the animal health market. Why? Because we are first in class in that field, and we are using basically the target animal species. Also, it is our network of collaborators, so we can actually easily reach out to either industry or to academic collaborators to make it happen. It is a very fast-growing market, and so this stage is going to be the de-risking step of the approach. In the second step, once we have characterized that it is a valid approach on the animal health market, we're going to enter the human health pharma market, which is obviously a much larger market. Now, something to consider is that to actually get customers, we have to be vetted by the FDA. And so something which we have done 2 years ago together with Karen is to very early secure a research cooperation agreement with the FDA that is going to basically vet and put its stamp on our technology. This way, with this FDA kind of validation, we expect to basically convince industry to work together with us on a regular basis. In terms of funding, so we are currently backed up by the NSF. We got ranked first among about 700 applications for an NSF SBIR 2 years ago. And we also won the John Papa John competition pitch last year and the Iowa Innovation Bio this year in 2021. We are also receiving support from the Iowa Economic Development and the Region Innovation Fund. For contract research, as I was saying, we have 2 contracts in the pipeline, one with the Human Division of Boehringer and one with the Animal Health Division of Boehringer here in Ames. Now, what about the IP? So this year we have secured an exclusive license agreement with iSurf for the use of our technology, and we have just filed for 2 non-provisional patent applications in the US, including 92 claims for the use of our technology in research. More recently, we also have expanded the scope of our portfolio with 2 additional disclosures, one on liver, mini liver, and the other one on bladder cancer. And so speaking of bladder cancer, we are very excited about our current collaboration with the Mayo Clinic with the goal to actually establish mini bladder cancer in a dish as a test for diagnosing bladder cancer in patients, may they be human patients or canine patients, but also to better treat those patients by identifying the best dose and the best drug that basically is going to treat that individual patient. So we have a collaboration going on with the Mayo Clinic here in Rochester, and we are being supported by that by the Berry Cancer Associations as well. For our revenue model, we actually intend to work as a fee-for-service organization for the pharma industry with projected revenues of about $500,000 in year 1 with 30 assays per year, scaling this up to about 240 assays in year 3 with a steady state revenue of about $5 million. Right now, our plan to support the company from 2021 moving to 2023 is to combine funding from the government. So we're going to apply for the NSF Phase 2 in June for $1 million. We have current contract with BI for about $85,000 together with grant support. And we are working together with our CEO on the first round of angel investment coming from the M-Seed Capital, Fin, and the Ag Startup Engine. So to conclude, what we are looking for here is basically industry partners to test our technology across multiple therapeutic indications, and also to collaborate in our NSF Phase 2 application in June. And also technology and partnerships in scaling up our technology moving forward to a global scale. Thank you.